Awesome. Okay, so we'll give it just one more minute and then we'll get started. So I see we have a couple social workers on here. Everyone, as you're coming in, please let me know a little bit about yourself. So tell me your name and then what you do as a profession. So if you're in administration, social work, counselor, teacher, tell me a little bit about yourself. Thank you. Oh, awesome. So recruiting, thank you so much. Awesome, awesome. Okay, so I want to be respectful of your time. So we're going to go ahead and get started. And I want to thank all of you so much. Let me go ahead and there we go. And so, hey y'all, I am so happy that you are all here for the Unexpected Paths Career Speaker Series. I am so excited to share some information with you and just a bit of knowledge and a few nuggets that I've learned along the way. So, if you do have any questions, feel free to put them inside the chat. We will go over them closer to the end. But let me know if you do have any questions of any about anything that I talk about. Go ahead and put that in. And we will have a few opportunities for some engagement, just like this chat. And so I ask that you participate if you can. If you're not on camera, if you called in, that's totally fine. But I would love to engage with you today. So again, thank you so much. So let me tell you a little bit about Prepare to Impact. Prepare to Impact is a social impact consulting group where we provide services geared towards helping professionals and human service agencies. And the mission is to provide human service agencies and professionals with tools and resources and strategies so you can continue to just positively impact the lives of other people. So this includes, and this list is not inclusive of everyone, but social workers, and I say that because I am a social worker, but social workers, counselors, teachers, if you're in higher admin, really anyone, we all want to make a positive impact on the community. Also, nurses too. So really anyone can make a positive difference. So that is what our goal is. So a little bit about this series. I am so passionate about this Unexpected Path series, really because my path has been really unexpected. And we're going to talk about my path in a little bit. But the purpose of this series really is to celebrate helping professionals, some of those professionals that I listed a little bit before. We're going to highlight some traditional and some non-traditional job roles. Also, I really want to introduce you to some new career paths that may be of interest to you. And then I always want to provide tools and strategies and resources so you can further continue to make an impact on your community, at your jobs, within your families, just helping others. So that is my goal. So this series is going to be monthly. And so at the end, I do have a flyer for the April session that we're going to do. We have a great guest for that. So I'll tell you that a little bit later. But this is always going to be monthly, and the Unexpected Past series is always going to be free. I just love sharing knowledge and helping other people. So this is always going to be free, and it's just a resource for you. So I really hope and pray that you enjoy it and that you take something away from it. Okay. So for today's objectives, of course, this is our first session. So what I really wanted to do, starting us off with this series, is to share my career journey with you. We're going to discuss some transferable skills, and I'll tell you a little bit about that in a second. And then we're going to explore some skill strengthening strategies that you might be able to utilize to just strengthen your transferable skills. And so we'll talk about that, and that will give us opportunity really to engage with each other too. Okay. So let me tell you a little bit about my career journey. My journey has really been interesting. So let me share this with you. And hold on one second. Let me share. Okay. Can you guys see my screen? My screen okay? This career journey screen. If someone can go off mute and just tell me.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, awesome. Thank y'all so much. All right, so let me tell you a little bit about my journey. So as you saw in my flyer, I have my doctorate. I am a social worker. I own Prepare to Impact, and I'm also a social impact software trainer. And so, which is very interesting because I am not a techie person. I tell people that all the time, but I am not a techie person really at all, but I guess I know a little something. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about my journey, and then we're going to be talking about those transferable skills and the skills that I have developed over the course of several years. And then hopefully my goal is to be able to share with you some of those skills and then help you to develop a little bit of your transferable skills too. Okay. So starting out in 2008, I received my bachelor's from High Point University. My bachelor's is in nonprofit leadership and management. And so when I started, or when I declared my major as nonprofit, I was like, oh, I want to own a nonprofit and all that jazz. And I absolutely loved my program. So I was in my program and I started doing informational interviews with people. Started doing that really my spring semester, just trying to figure out what type of job I'm going to get, right? And as I conducted informational interviews with people, and back then we weren't really using LinkedIn. Facebook was really for social aspect like it is now. Um, but I really connected with some nonprofit professionals within the community, reached out to them, and people love talking about themselves. So, so I reached out to a couple people, and really everyone that I came in contact with had a master's in social work. Also, a lot of the jobs that I was interested in, that I was looking at online, just browsing, they all either required an MSW or was a highly preferred or strongly preferred or whatnot. So I said, okay, well, that must be the degree that I need to go get. So I went and got my master's in social work from the University of South Carolina, and so after that, I got my first job in Statesville, North Carolina. I'm sorry, and as a CPS investigator. So I was a Child Protective Services investigator, assessing for child abuse or neglect, right? And as you think of social work, you may think of that type of role. I sure did. I will say this, that when I started within social work, and especially the social work program, I had no idea what social work was. Just the typical things that you may hear or that you may see on TV. Okay, so it's very interesting that I ended up in that type of role. And so I started in that role, and let me tell you, I started looking for a new job about 2 weeks after my training ended. It was not for me. It really wasn't. But I needed that opportunity to see what I enjoyed doing and what I did not enjoy doing. Right. And so that opportunity really helped to shape my growth and to really just start me on that path. So I was very thankful, and am still thankful for that opportunity. But I only lasted there 6 months. And so took me a couple months to find a job because, like I told you, I started looking for something else after 2 weeks. And so So I left there. And so as you see within the titles on here, I say the typical job. And so we fast forward a couple months, and I have a session of, or I'm sorry, topic here of humble thyself. And so I started working at a nonprofit, and it was an after school and summer program in Hickory, North Carolina. And I absolutely loved working with the kids. I loved working with the families. And I was like I said, a program director. So, so within that role, though, I mm, I had a lot of growing to do. Had a lot of growing to do. I needed to learn more about the administrative aspects of running a nonprofit. I needed to learn more about working more so with families, but not working with families, not working one on one, because I understand that. But what are the needs, right? And so, and I also managed staff. I probably had a staff of about at least 10 people, and that was very interesting. So the topic here is humble thyself, because I had no idea what I was doing, no idea, but I learned along the way. But I also realized, okay, Lauren, this is first of all, this is not working. And then I need to take a seat back and learn from someone else. Just because I have a degree in nonprofit or even a master's degree did not mean that I was equipped for that type of role. So I realized that, all right, I have some gaps in my learning and in my skills that I need to address before I am at this level of management. Okay. And so let's move forward a little bit. And a little bit about a little bit more about my journey here. And so after that realization that I need to learn under someone or learn from another type of program, I moved to Wilmington, North Carolina, and I worked for a nonprofit where I was a program manager. And I absolutely love that job. I worked with individuals who were looking for employment, stable employment, and really working with people who had challenges with gaining employment, keeping employment, and then just achieving their goals. I absolutely loved that job. Loved it. I managed cases. I managed the program, the Life Skills Development Program, and the program was already existing, but I strengthened it. And so there is where I realized my gifts, right? And so there, I realized that I had a gift for program development and really growing a program really from its infant stage all the way up to just helping people to transform their lives. I also realized that I had a true gift for curriculum development. Loved it. I was at that job and I literally can write curriculum, or I could at that time, and still all day long. And it did not even feel like a job. And the most amazing part about that was that I was developing curriculum that was utilized in the program, and people were strengthening their knowledge and strengthening their skills. And I tell you a little bit about the population. These were individuals who had had just life challenges, right? So we had people who were recently incarcerated, and who had just gotten out of jail or prison. We had people who it was their first job and they were just trying to get their first job. We had people who they were stay-at-home moms their entire lives, and now it was time for them to do what they love or to find themselves. And so we really had a diverse group, right? And the fact that I was able to develop training curriculum that really spoke to everyone and helped a large number of people to achieve their goals was amazing. And so I realized I have a gift for this and I want to learn more and I need to learn more, right? I'll get there in a second. Also in August 2015, I became an adjunct instructor. And so that's a part of my journey too, at a University of North Carolina in Wilmington, and I really enjoyed that. Love working with the students. I think a couple of them are here on this call today, and so it really helped me to stay connected with the students and also to build rapport. Because really, I was just a student a couple years before, right? So So let's move forward also to January 2016. Remember, I realized that I loved writing curriculum, but I was really doing it just on my own. I did not really know really what I was doing. I didn't have a methodology, rather. I knew what I was doing. I didn't really have a methodology to it. And so that's when I searched for a Doctor of Education program. Well, really, I was looking for a program in curriculum development, and I found my Doctor of Education program that's special, and I specialize in curriculum and instruction. And I got that from, well, I attended Southeastern University and was there for several years. So while I was working full time in Wilmington, full time doctoral student, I felt a sort of a void. Really, I knew I could do more. I knew I could do more than my current role at that time, and I absolutely love that role. But I felt like I wanted to take it to the next level and to utilize some of the skills and some of the knowledge that I was learning. So I went to got a job in the College of Social Work at the University of South Carolina, where I was a program coordinator. And I worked as a program coordinator where I evaluated programs, right? And so with my programs, with program evaluation, I was not really doing it officially in Wilmington at that nonprofit, but of course we had grants and things like that, so we had to report. But I was not doing program evaluation to the effect of this type of role, a large grant and things like that. And so I really learned a lot from those instructors. Unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, but I was working for a grant and the grant ended, right? And so then it was time for me to find something else. And so after that, it was time for me to find another type of role where, and I came to the realization, I said, okay, Lauren, it's time to really put all of what I have learned together and let's just see how we can strengthen that. Right. And so I found a job. Actually, I found it on LinkedIn. So if anybody has any questions about LinkedIn or job searching, please email me because I love LinkedIn and job searching. Found this job on LinkedIn, and it was a curriculum developer and trainer. That was the title, right? So I said, oh, goodness, this must be me, right? Mind you, though, the only curriculum development I really had done was at that other nonprofit. And so I was so thankful that this company, it was a for profit company, and that they gave me a chance. However, I don't know if I did not ask the right questions during my interview, or maybe I was just so excited that somebody wanted to interview me because, my grant was ending. That I was like, oh, yeah, I need a job. Let's go. That I did not realize until really probably like my first day that I was going to be training technology. I'm like, I am a social worker. What do I know about technology? And but I did it, and I did it pretty well. And so with that role, I actually traveled with the team throughout South Carolina, and we implemented a statewide system for child support. And we trained child support workers, judges, attorneys, how to utilize this. Really, it was a federal system, federal computer system. And so really that's how I came into technology. But through that, that was a contract, and that contract was coming to an end. And that was a couple-year contract. So if anybody has questions about contracts, feel free, of course, to contact me too. And I would love to share a little bit about my experience with that. It was a good opportunity though. However, that contract was ending. And again, it was time to find something else. And so I came across a position here in Columbia with another corporate company where I was doing technology. However, the subject matter for that one, it just did not really fit me very well. I did the job I did it well, but I wasn't. I think that with that role, I missed the social work aspect, right? I had been in corporate for a couple years, and I missed working with people. And I really I was praying for change and just thinking, okay, what is next? It has to be something more because remember, I'm a social worker at heart. I'm a community person at heart, right? And so with that role, I actually that contract actually ended, another contract. And so as you can see, contracts, they're good, but then they come to an end most of the time. So with that, I actually I found another role as a social impact software curriculum developer. And that's where I am right now full time. Absolutely love it. I really do. I feel like it is the perfect blend of community work and nonprofit and social work, and my love for curriculum development and training and technology, which is what I can do. I can train, especially with technology. And so I am there, and I feel so fulfilled that I can merge all of my skills and all of my experiences. And actually, the same week that I began that job, I graduated with my Doctor of Education. So, a little bit about that. My dissertation was on a program evaluation of a youth entrepreneurship program. Now, if you remember when I was at the University of South Carolina working, I worked on a program eval. So, my experience several years before really helped me to shape my doctoral journey. It really did. And ideally, that's what I do now. So, with Prepare to Impact, and I actually got my business license last November, but I didn't launch it really until February or so, until I was ready. But with Prepare to Impact, I utilize everything that I have learned along the way: program evaluations, curriculum development, training, needs assessments, training needs assessments, working with adult learners. I do all of that. So, really, my entire journey for the past a decade or even over a decade at this point, it really has come full circle, and it's really helped to shape who I am as a professional, and ideally my love for helping all of you. Right. My journey is very interesting, but my love is to help other professionals, one, strengthen their skills, but also build the resources and the strategy so they can continue to impact the community. That is my mission in life. And so I'm so happy that you all are here. And if you have any questions about my journey, feel free to put it in the chat. Any specific questions, I'll be happy to answer that. So let me go back to the PowerPoint here. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. Hold on. Okay. All right. Can everyone see my PowerPoint? Can somebody go off mute and tell me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Thank you so much. Okay. So a little bit about my transferable skills, right? I am a huge advocate for strengthening transferable skills. And what I mean by transferable skills are what are skills that you can utilize in various sectors. If you realize, or if you reflect upon my career journey, all of my skills is sort of like a snowball effect, right? And so I had an experience, and I was able to build upon that into something greater, even if my next was not ideally my forever job or what I ideally wanted to do, but it either allowed me to learn something new or allowed me to practice what I already knew and to strengthen that. All right. So a little bit about my transferable skills: case management. I did case management. Remember my first job at social services that I where I did not do that well, but I did case management there. Also, some field placements in my internships. I did case management too. All right, and at one of the nonprofit in Wilmington, I love working with my clients. I did also program eval, like I stated. I did program eval at the University of South Carolina, and at the at another nonprofit, and for my dissertation. right? Formal report writing. I write formal reports even now within my roles, and that is very important, right? Group facilitation and training. Who would have thought that I would be getting up in front of groups and training? Either it's job search training, or I do technology training and group facilitation. But really, all of that is a transferable skill, right? Especially as social workers, counselors, teachers, we all learn and we know how to do group facilitation, right? But if you can think about it, and think about how you can utilize your skills in just another way. And I want to show you a little bit about that. So let's move forward. Curriculum design and development. Of course, as you know, I love writing curriculum. However, I have been able to write curriculum design and development, which is two separate things. But I've been able to do that really in the nonprofit sector, in the government sector, with that other contract, and then in the private sector, in the corporate sector, right? So in three different sectors, I've been able to utilize those skills, right? And which is amazing because it's really allowed me to strengthen that and also to practice what I already know and to learn some other things. Researching and resource development as helping professionals, we know how to research, we know how to find resources, we know how to make referrals and things like that, how to pick up the phone and ask questions. We know how to do that. Program development and management. I talked about that a little bit, but really, I have sort of managed programs for the bulk of my career thus far. And I absolutely enjoy doing that. I really do. Recruitment. So if you think about recruitment, I know we have a recruiter on the line or on the call here, but as helping professionals, you recruit clients for your programs, right? You recruit volunteers and you manage volunteers too, manage clients with, of course, case management. And also you recruit community partners. We are able to network, especially pre-COVID and hopefully after COVID, we're able to go to conferences and go to different in-person trainings and share cards and business cards and network. That is essentially recruitment. And building our network so we can continue to refer people and just build our skills really and build sort of that portfolio that we have. Also, relationship and rapport building. As helping professionals, you know that rapport building is so important. So we build relationships with clients and with parents, with our own internal teams and with our community partners, right? And so we have tons of transferable skills, and really these are just mine. But I am very interested to see what your transferable skills are. Okay. And so we'll get there in a second. So a little bit about just transferable skills in general for helping professionals. We have hard skills, and I actually found this resource online, and she happened to the creator of this list actually happened to have technology skills in here, which I was like, oh, that's me. But we think about advocacy, technology, interviewing, you know, as social workers and as teachers and as counselors, we utilize motivational interviewing to ask our clients questions and our students and our team, right? Programmatic skills, how to manage those programs and develop them, right? And so even if you are using a curriculum that's already developed, you are managing that program, you are growing that program. We have grants that are utilized and the funds are utilized to strengthen those programs that we are developing. That is huge. Relationship building, workload management, and then leadership and management just in general. Now, some of the soft skills that we have, teamwork and listening skills, communication and self-awareness and organizational skills, and then emotional intelligence. It's all important. All of those are transferable skills that we utilize, and you can utilize outside of the traditional roles. Okay. So let's chat a little bit. If you don't mind, please put inside of the chat box at least one, I would love more, but at least one of your transferable skills. All right. So think about what are the skills you have in your job or your just professional skills, but what can be transferred into a sector that may be different or a different type of job role. All right. So go ahead and I'm going to look at the chat here and tell me what is at least one of your transferable skills. Even if you don't consider yourself a helping professional, I would love to hear from you. So I'm going to give you guys a minute and to put inside the chat and tell me what is one of your transferable skills that you have. Oh, organizational skills. Okay. Very good. Documentation. Yes. As a social worker. Ooh, documentation. Yeah. Auditing. Awesome. Case management. Exactly. Oh, and case management and auditing, that could really be utilized in various sectors. Oh, engagement. Yes. Engaging with our clients, engaging with the community, with our teammates. Awesome. Awesome. Active listening. Yep. That is great. And we utilize active listening really, really in everything that we do. We utilize active listening, working with clients, working with our team, working with parents, community partners. What else? Let's see here. Oh, evaluation and assessment. Yes. I love that. You know, I love eval. Leadership skills and creating programs. Oh, wonderful. Conflict management. Exactly, exactly. And the list just keeps going on. All of those, and thank you all so much for participating. Problem solving. Awesome. Yeah, all of those are transferable skills, right? And so if you think about, so of course, a part of this seminar, I like to call it, is to help you to think about what are your transferable skills? What do you know? And so most of the people on this seminar that I can, as I was looking at your registration forms. I know that most of you would consider yourselves to be helping professionals. So if you think about that, even if you're not a helping pro, think about all those skills and how you can use those in various ways, right? So if you are, say, in counseling or in school social work or in a hospital setting or at a school, or different capacities at a school or whatnot, but just look at all of those skills that we have as helping professionals. All those skills, we can do so much. We can do so much, and those skills are needed in other sectors outside of the traditional. Okay, so what I want to help you to think about are some skill strengthening strategies, and these are really some strategies that really, these are based on my background a little bit, and these are some strategies that I do. So identifying and reflecting upon what you're good at. So as I stated when I was going through my career journey, my background really had to evolve, and it took those not so good experiences for me to realize what I'm really good at, right? And so if you can think about what are you good at, right? What are you good at? And then just reflect upon your journey a little bit. Okay. Also, try, and if you're searching for a job or if you're just loving your current role, which is awesome, but and you can think about even if you want to volunteer too, but another skill strengthening strategy can be to work for a cause that you're passionate about. Right. So currently, and I will say this, that I currently work full time at a local United Way here in Columbia, South Carolina, and I absolutely love it. However, I never really, so let me say this. I knew that always knew that homelessness was an issue. However, I sort of focused my my interest in if I was volunteering or whatnot in other areas outside of homelessness. Not saying that it's not an issue, because it definitely is, but like for instance, I love working with older people. So when I volunteer, I tend to volunteer with Meals on Wheels because I'm passionate about older adults. And so I've never really just volunteered or worked for an agency that really focus on homelessness. And so with that, I have learned so much. I really have about just the community in general. And I can go on and on about policies that affect, homelessness and things like that. And so, really, I encourage you to think about what causes are you passionate about, and really think about how can you strengthen your skills in that area. So if you're passionate about early childhood education, right? You're passionate about that. If you have a young child, you're passionate about that. Or if you're passionate about healthcare, or and just various sectors, addictions. So think about that. What are you passionate about? And see how you can get your foot in the door a little bit. It could be that you're volunteering. It could be that you just go to a conference and network. And so just think about what are those causes that you're passionate about. Also, and oh, well, let me say this before I go off of that. Also, you might want to try something new. Just like I said, that really I love and very passionate about working with people with older adults. However, the homeless population, that was new to me. And so I find that I am watching a lot of YouTube videos, or I might find some virtual trainings now to strengthen my knowledge in that area. But I'm realizing that I am very passionate about this, and so you may have to get out of your comfort zone a little bit, or to just try something new. Try a new sector. Also, identifying your gaps in knowledge. So, with my gaps in knowledge, I realized, remember that I enjoyed curriculum development, but I did not know the mechanics behind it. So, the theories behind it, how to develop better curriculum. And with that, that's when I decided to go get my doctorate. Now, I'm not saying that you need to go get your doctorate. If you want to, that is wonderful. I am rooting for you, but but I'm not saying that you have to do that. But it could mean that you participate in a seminar, or you go to a conference, go to a training, and you may need to invest in yourself a little bit. If your company is not going to pay for it, you may need to put a little bit to the side if you are able to do so. But also, I do want to say this, that oftentimes with trainings or with conferences, oftentimes they do have some scholarships that are available. So if you're not able to pay for that out of pocket, or if your employers aren't able to pay for the full thing, it never hurts to reach out to the different organizers and say, hey, I'm able to do this, or hey, I would love to participate, but financially I'm not able to. Are you guys, do y'all have some scholarships available? You will be surprised as to what they have set aside just for you. You just never know unless you ask. All right, so identify your gaps in knowledge. Oh, and also there are tons of free trainings. So on my social media pages, LinkedIn and Facebook, for Prepare to Impact, I always look for various trainings, especially free ones, but various trainings that could be beneficial. So be looking out for that. But also participate in trainings, right? And so, and really that goes along with the identifying your gaps in knowledge, but participate in those trainings, and see if you can suggest a training that your employer could put on, right? That your employer could put on, or if they know someone, even if it is a 1 hour topic training, or a brown bag lunch training or whatnot. You could suggest that, but it could be exactly what you need. And so I really encourage you to think about that. Also, take initiative, and volunteer. Well, and not necessarily volunteering in the community, but you can volunteer at work too. If there is a certain project going on and you want to know more about it, volunteer for it. I will say that at my company, I heard that so here at the United Way, they do an annual, I think it's annual or every 2 years. I'm not sure, but they do a community needs assessment where they identify the needs of the community, right? So from a policy perspective, from a learning perspective, they go in, and work within the school systems and see what those needs are. Various nonprofits. I would like to strengthen my skills in preparing and developing needs assessments. I know how to do them, but I always want to be able to learn different methods, how to do them easier. And so, guess what I did? I emailed my supervisor once I learned about this needs assessment, and I said, "Hey, I would love to participate on this team. Am I able to do that?" And he said, "Sure thing. We'll put you on the email list, and we'll let you know when we meet." Perfect. And so I was very happy about that. And then we're going to be getting started with that soon. But that is a part of taking initiative. You just reaching out and say, "Hey, I would love to be a part of this committee, or I would love to be a part of this planning," and just see where that leads. You may be able to strengthen your skills, and maybe I don't know, maybe you can lead the group once you strengthen your skills and your tools in that area. You never know. You never know. Also, now I am a huge advocate of this, conducting informational interviews. I love informational interviews. And I know a few of you on the call here today actually have reached out to me, or I've reached out to you via LinkedIn probably. And I love LinkedIn, as you can tell. But, and, hey, let's just chat and let's just get to know each other. Tell me a little bit about what you do. I'll tell you a little bit about what I do. And let's just build that community of that network, that professional network. I love informational interviews, and so I have actually a list of great informational interview questions that I would love to share. And so I'll probably post that sometime this week. But I absolutely love informational interviews. So when you are reaching out for informational interviews, sometimes it can feel uncomfortable or just a little weird, especially if you're reaching out to someone and say, "Hey, can we meet up, or can we meet via Zoom or whatnot?" It can sound a bit awkward, but just give it a try. I promise you, you will feel more comfortable as time goes on. And if you need someone to practice with, you can always reach out to me. I'll be happy to help you to practice and build your confidence in that. But with those informational interviews, you can really gain a lot of information. You can, I really encourage you to seek out people who are where you want to be, right? So if you want to get inside a certain sector, say for instance, you're interested in school social work, right? But you're not in school social work now. I encourage you to try to find a school social worker on social media, or reach out to someone and say, "Hey, do you know anyone in this sector?" People know people who know people. You never know who people know. So, I encourage you to do that. And I'll be honest with you, I make an effort to conduct an informational interview at least once a week. I may be reaching out to someone that I have already been in contact with, or someone new. And you just never know who that person. You never know who that person may be, but you also may not know, or you never know what they know, their background, who they may be able to refer you to. So it's just you can get a wealth of knowledge doing informational interviews. If you have any other questions about that, feel free to let me know, and I will be happy to help. And then lastly, well, last but not least, identify and stay connected with mentors. When you do these informational interviews, reach out to them. And if you find that you really click with them, say, "Hey, would it be okay if we scheduled something to get together via Zoom or whatnot in about 2 months or so? I would love to give you an update." there's a young lady on here who does that with me, and I absolutely love it. And I find myself doing that with other people too. There is one lady that I found actually on LinkedIn. I wanted to reach out to other program evaluators as I was starting a business. Doing consulting and program evals. I really only knew people that were doing program evaluations in either the nonprofit sector or at a school, but not really in the private sector, not running their own company. And so I actively sought out possible mentors. I found some people on LinkedIn. I just put in a search word and really sought out some people. So a couple individuals responded back and I set up a meeting. And actually, it's one in particular, I absolutely love her. And she's actually became one of my mentors. She reached out to me a couple weeks ago and she had a program evaluation project at a large school in North Carolina that she did not have the time for. So she referred me. And so you just never know, just stay open-minded. That is my biggest suggestion is to stay open-minded and just try to build your confidence as best you can. Some of these strategies may, make you feel a little bit uncomfortable, but just give it a try. Just give it a try, and you just never know where life will take you, especially when you're just taking that step forward and just giving it your all, and you just never know. With that, I would love to know, go ahead and put it into the chat. What will you do this week to strengthen your transferable skills, right? So think about those strategies that we just talked about or some others that you may have. But I'm going to look at the chat and go ahead and tell me what is one thing that you're going to do this week that will help you to strengthen your transferable skills. All right, so just think about that. And will you say reach out to a mentor? Yeah, reach out to others. Awesome. Yeah, reach out to someone, maybe volunteer for something at work, or to suggest a team training at work. And maybe volunteer for a reaching out. Yeah, awesome. Volunteering for a new nonprofit. Oh, today at work, as you guys are typing, I'll say this, that we have an initiative. Remember, I told you that I'm very passionate about working. Oh, awesome. Starting to plan training. Yay, that. And so remember that I said that I'm very passionate about working with older adults. There's an opportunity to help older adults who are having trouble reading. And I actually joined an informational volunteer session today. So that is a way to get involved, but also to work in your passion, right? Because we're, as helping professionals, we're very passionate people. We care about others. And so that is just something that you can do, volunteering and whatnot. Joining a networking group. Awesome. Thank you so much, Tabitha. And so yeah, and I know that this could be a bit different, but just reflect upon that. What can you do? Find the training about how to create effective programs. Yay, that's awesome. Alex said, reflect on what I'm doing. Maybe, what you're good at, and then identifying your gaps in knowledge. Oh, goodness. Yep. And finding out where you're good at is great. Getting more information. Awesome. Expanding as an usher and the ushering director at church. That is great. Thank you so much, Miss Mary. And so keep on putting those in. I would love to hear. Networking with a local organization. Yes. To be a partner through work. That'll be great. That would be awesome. Keep putting those in, guys. Thank you so much. Now, at this point, let me see what I have here. I do have identifying your gaps in knowledge and gaps in knowledge. Yep. Awesome. And so I do have this quote right here that says, the reality is that if you always do what you've always done, you'll always be where you've always been, right? And this really resonated with me because we just have to take just one step at a time. just one step at a time. Just think about where you are and then where you want to be. And it may take a couple years or it may take a couple months. But my whole point is it may not be when you want it to be, but it'll happen. Just take those little baby steps, strengthen your skills, strengthen your knowledge, talk to other people and network. And even with this seminar here, either you heard from it or heard about it by someone else or from someone else, or we network on social media together. So it really just depends. But I really challenge you to just think about this quote and just think about where do you want to be and how do you get there, right? And so tell me, we have about 10 minutes left or so. Tell me, do you all have any questions? Does anyone have any questions? You can put it inside the chat or you can just unmute yourself. But tell me, do you have any questions that I can help you with, or any questions about anything that I've stated today? Any? Maybe someone, I can remember someone typing in. But also, yeah, oftentimes it just takes a leap of faith and a leap of courage. If you ever want to reach out and if you ever want to, if you have any questions or anything, I am always here to help. I know I have a couple of my mentees on this call. I love chatting with people. I will always make time. It may not be it may take you, a week or two to get on my calendar. So we may have to go back and forth a little bit, but I love chatting with people and I love helping you to achieve your goals. Right. So a little
Yes,
bit about what.
Lauren, this is Mary
Hey.
Wilson. Hey, honey, the question I have is, we as a whole, well, I'm looking at it from an usher standpoint and how we need a curriculum going, because we're at a standstill at our progress at our churches, and also how to get a conduct the information interview going. Far as staying in contact with other people, trying to get their information, and just trying to get a curriculum going in the church as a whole.
Yeah.
And I was just wondering, how can you go about doing that when they've never done that before?
Yeah, Miss Mary. So what I would suggest that that you do is to really. So the first thing is to identify the need. So what exactly do they need to learn? Let me say this too, that it's on my next slide, but I'm in the process of creating a course to teach you how to develop curriculum. It's probably going to be coming this summer. But I'm in the process of that. It's a big question that I get often. And I want to, again, help you to develop your skills. And so that is going to be coming. But in the meantime, I encourage you to think about what do these ushers, or as the church in a whole, what does everyone need to know? Number one. And I will be interested to see, depending on what the needs are, there are a lot of free resources. But at a church, we have various programs at a church. And so you could have the usher ministry, you have the children's, you have the women's and the men's and all. So it really just depends, because what the individuals that work with the children do, it will probably be different than what the adults do. And so what I would start by doing is identifying the needs. So what do they need to learn? And then I would start by doing a simple Google search to see what type of training curriculum is out there. But if we're talking about, it depends on what type of, like I said, the training needs. But I encourage you to stay tuned because I have that course coming up. But if you don't mind, after our call, please message me and then I'll see if I can find some resources for you, at least to help you get started.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you for your question. And I think I had another one on here. Oh, can you talk a little bit about securing an adjunct position? Oh, yes. Okay, Yvette. So with adjunct, I got my first adjunct experience because I was at the nonprofit in North Carolina, and really, I took on an intern. I took on an intern, and actually had several interns that were there, but actually the college school of social work at that time, they reached out to say, hey, we have a need. Are you interested in teaching? My my suggestion for you if you have no experience in teaching, is to start getting connected with the college, with a local school, or online schools too, but especially for the local one. I actually teach adjunct. I didn't even put this on here, but I teach adjunct also at Columbia College. Here in Columbia, I teach a social work / sociology course adjunct. And this was only my second time. But I really encourage you to start networking with the school. Maybe take a leap of faith, and maybe your strategy for the week might be to, go on the school website for the college or social or whatever the area may be, social work or sociology or whatnot, and say, hey, I would love to chat with you about your journey. Really just try to get your foot in the door a little bit, and it may not be starting out saying, hey, do you have a job for me? But it could be saying, hey, I would love to just learn about your career journey. Is it possible that we can meet? With that, as people start to get to know you, they will, begin referring you to different roles and different positions. And you just never know. You never know what they're coming across. Also, a lot of positions are not posted. And so actually the adjunct role that I have, it was not posted, the one at Columbia College. It wasn't. I got this role because of one of my mentors. I was chatting with her, and she teaches full time at Columbia College. And I said, hey, I had just finished up my doctorate, and yep, so I started teaching in January, this past January. So I just finished up school, I think like November or so. And I was chatting with her, and I said, hey, can you just be on the lookout for me if you hear anything adjunct? Let me know. She said, you know what? We actually have a position. We are looking for someone. So please, go ahead and send over your resume, and I'll tell them it's on the lookout. So, or to be on the lookout. So I say that to say, I say to reach out to someone and just ask them for a virtual coffee date and see where that leads, and get to know, start building your network in various sectors, right? Or the sector that you want to be in. And they'll start thinking of you for different positions and things like that. But that's a great question. I hope that was helpful. Anything else? Anything else? Any other questions people have? Yep, you're
I have a
welcome.
question.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm Tabitha. My question is for you is, I just recently graduated from grad school about 2 years ago. And right now I feel like I'm in that rough patch of trying to find my niche and exactly what I want to do with my social work degree. So what did you do to find exactly what you want to do with your degrees, and how did you go about getting that good job that fits for you, and how did you network with other people? Kind of like, how did you move forward after grad school into your real job?
Yeah, that's a good question, Tabitha. And thank you so much for being on. So, really, Tabitha, I tried a good bit of things. And so, and I'll be happy to. I'm not sure if you were on the call when I was talking about my career journey, but if not, that's totally fine. I'll be happy to share the link with you. But really, I just started out in a typical social work role. And when things didn't work out, I moved on, and I just strengthened my skills along that way. Figured out what I was good at. And through one of my many roles, I realized that I was good at curriculum development. I was really good at program development. I was good at facilitation in groups. And I began really going to trainings and things like that just to strengthen those skills. And so, and please email me. I'm going to share my email after this slide, but I would love to chat with you and to learn a little bit more about your particular journey, but also maybe I can help you to strategize, you know, what your next step may be. But I really just encourage you just to keep moving forward, see what you can learn, and really start by assessing what you're good at. What am I good at, and how can I strengthen that? But yeah, please email me, and then we can we'll set something up to chat.
Okay, and that kind of feels like where I am as far as, you know, when it's not fitting best for me, just move on. But I don't want to be that person between jobs. But I kind of feel like I might need to do that and just kind of figure out a few things career wise.
I gotcha. I gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, we'll definitely chat. But also you have to think about, at least for me, let me say, when I left a role, it was because, and you guys know as health professionals, that sometimes our jobs can be mentally draining. They can be physically draining, and sometimes you have to do what you need to do for your own self-care. And so, it's really going to take some thought, but you don't have to necessarily totally leave what you're doing. We can look at what your strengths are and what your interests are, and see, and just maybe try to strategize or come up with some ideas what might be, you know, your next steps, or what you can do to strengthen your knowledge until that next role becomes available, or you find the perfect one or what you're interested in.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Anything else? Anyone have any questions? Nope, you're good. Okay. Well, if you do have any, feel free to reach out. Here on this slide, I know you guys have read this since I've been on it for a minute, but our next session is going to be April 13th at 6:30. Of course, all of these Unexpected Path series sessions are totally free. We have Yvette, and she's actually on our call here today. And so this next session is really going to be sort of a Q&A. So it's going to be sort of like an interview, but we're going to learn from Yvette, learn about her career journey. And she is a clinical social worker, and she is a former advanced clinical social work fellow at Yale University. And I thought that this would be a perfect sector because as we are thinking as individuals, let me say, are thinking about what's next, or you know, broadening their knowledge and their skills, I thought that her experience as a fellow may just bring us some extra knowledge, and bring us some ideas as to just thinking outside of the box. What can we do? So I look forward to seeing you on that day. I'm going to begin posting the signups for that session sometime this week. So be on the lookout on the social media pages. And also a little bit about our services here at Prepare to Impact, just in case you're interested or you just want to learn more about these subject matters. We do training needs assessments, program evals, program development consulting, and professional development courses and seminars. Like I said, that I have a curriculum development seminar that is coming up this summer that I'm super excited about, and other seminars and whatnot. So if you do have any ideas of things that you would like us to offer, please let me know. And if you're interested in these services yourself or your different agencies, I do various contracts with agencies. I have a couple of them going right now. And so I would love to chat. And here are the social media handles. So I would love to connect with you. Of course, we're on Facebook, the business is on LinkedIn, and I'm on LinkedIn too. And then there's my email. So feel free, please, screenshot that, and I would love to connect with you. All right. If there is nothing else, this was a wonderful seminar. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and thank you for your wonderful questions. And I pray that some of this information was helpful for you, and that you can take this knowledge. If there's anything I can do, feel free to reach out. I love helping. I love assisting you and helping you to reach your goals. So let me know what I can do, and I will chat with you soon. I'll see y'all on April 13th. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.